Good afternoon from Sacred Space. This is Tanya Aarons coming to you from Titania's Realm on Instagram, which, as you know, Titania's Realm is the Queen Titania of the forest fairy folk of Slavic, in particular Russian mythology. Although I'm not actually Russian by descent, I'm Polish by descent, but however it works, right? So, it's New Year's Eve. It's 1:34 p.m. It's a beautiful day, but windy, but quite hot. And I'm sitting in my garden as usual with my little birdie and my little doggy who's, I don't know where he is. Oh, he's over there. I thought he was under the chair. And we're just sitting and we're just relaxing and chilling, and I've got a very sore neck because I did my traditional mosh out to the song Zombie by the Cranberries, and I'm too old to mosh and it's killing me, and I've probably injured bits of my bones on my neck. But listen, I'm not complaining really. I'm living my best life at 57 and 3/4 of age, and it's an act of defiance and a rebellion and a triumph over adversity that few mortals have cobbled together after a life I've had. So I'm sitting here feeling quite serene and pleased with myself. So it's been running through my mind all morning. There's a chappie that's been coming in recent weeks to my favourite dance spot at the Live Wire Bar at the casino, Treasury Casino. And look, I've identified him as a bit of a borderline and a bit of a psychopath, really. He sort of gets right up in my face and wants to act like he's my best friend and does all the narcissistic, psychosociopathic grooming of being very, flattering and overly effusive. Anyway, I'm always suspicious of people like that. Long history, because I was raised by people like that who were false, superficial and toxic. Anyway, this gentleman, he's not by no real terms a gentleman in my view anyway. As soon as I identify a psychic vampire or a psychopath, I'm like, there's nothing gentlemanly about that. They're pure evil. But anyway, what happened was that I've just been quietly monitoring his approach, which has been escalating in recent weeks. He decided, because I was, superficially polite, because there's no need to be cruel to people. You've got to like be a little bit warm and welcoming. But I went very cold on him after the second week, when I observed that my friend, one of my friends, who was quite sweet on him, quite keen on him, and was so sweet and sat with him so affectionately and sweet. And honestly, I want her to find a loving man and be happy. Like, this is not motivated by envy or spite, people. I'm not like that. I really thought maybe she would have found someone lovely. But this particular man got up in my face later in the evening. This was last Friday, when I was sitting with a couple that I've known for many years from dancing at the Treasury and previously at Irish Murphy's. And he just dive-bombed into us. We were sitting quietly together. I'd just gone to sit with them because I haven't seen them for a long time. And he dived in and he announced, which I thought was crass, that my friend Seagal had been giving him free drinks all night, and that he was getting drunk, and that he was going to how did he phrase it actually? It was just bizarre. Oh, so girl's been buying me drinks all night and I have to get distance from her because I'm not interested in her. Words to that effect. Anyway, I was fucking livid. Number one, that he dive bombed so inappropriately into our little tete-a-tete little conversation. So no social skills. And number two, that he was bragging about a woman pampering him and spoiling him lavishly with free drinks, but yet she was still not good enough to be in her company. So a user and a parasite as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I have wonderful friends at the Treasury who often give me free drinks. But to go round to random strangers you've never met before and brag about a woman buying you drinks and that you're getting distance from her because you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, it's just disgusting. I found that really crass and disgusting. Anyway, I just sort of glared at him last week after he did that, and he recoiled and he went on his way around the rest of the dance floor. So last night he decided to approach me again, and he comes over and he says, oh, you know, I'm very judgmental of people. I mean, I couldn't give a flying fuck about what he thinks about people. I just think he's crass. I'm not interested in the creep. He's a real creep, right? Anyway, he gets up in my face, right up my right nostril like this, as far up as he can get, because it's just putrid, demonic ridden probably, just an imp, and proceeds to tell me that he's very judgmental, but he's observed that I always dress very beautifully. So, anyway, so that annoyed me on some level, because it was a compliment, but it was a backhanded kind of compliment. Anyway, so I went, I said, oh, thank you. I said, but I am not judgmental. Well, I can be. Everyone can be. It's only human, right? But by and large, I like to give people, I like to be tolerant of others, and I like to be respectful, and I like to give people, a fair play. He's had 3 strikes. He's done my 3-strike rule. 3 weekends. He's managed to piss me off every weekend. So I'm done playing nice or polite or conciliatory to this man. So then I said to him, I wouldn't be calling me judgmental, because actually, to be fair, I'm one of the most tolerant people I know. So tolerant that sometimes I think someone's excavated some of my frontal lobe and I've got no gift of discernment anymore, Maybe that's what happens after 15 years of sight med, you get lopped off. So, not funny, people, really not funny, bit of a worry actually. So anyway, so I'm looking at this creep and I said to him, and he says, by the way, and he's just repulsive, like as if I'd be interested in him anyway. He goes, and by the way, I had 4 women last week ask me for a one-night stand, and I'm not interested. I'm not interested in any of the women. I'm not coming here to ask you for a one-night stand. Which, why even make an announcement like that? Please, seriously. So anyway, it just rattled me. And so I said to him, no, because I said, that will never happen. I'm not in the least bit interested in you. Oh no, you've got the wrong idea. I have a partner at home. And he flips open his phone, shows me this photo of some woman that, I didn't even look at it properly. He could have got it off the internet. It could be, it's all madness. I think he's quite delusional, quite frankly. Anyway, and I'm thinking, well, if you've got a woman at home, what are you doing here? Getting drunk, trawling after all the women. Crass. Anyway, so then he just reminded me of my stepfathers, plural, who were both womanising pieces of shit and revolting and crass. And, and I thought, look, honestly, why am I having to deal with this idiot? It's like being a fucking attendant in a psych ward, It's really quite repulsive. So anyway, then I lost my temper. We went on about and it's not like I'm trying to get onto you, which he was getting onto me. He was right into my face, going onto me about how wonderful he is, and oh, gross. Anyway, so I'm looking at Seagal, and she's looking a bit hurt, and she withdrew into herself, which I understand because she's got serious mental health issues, as I do, but of a different variety. No judgment. We've all got our stuff, right? And I'm thinking, here he is fawning over me, and I've made it clear I'm not interested. And she's looking hurt because she's been, sweetly buying him drinks and dancing with him and probably falling a bit in love, and oh, dear goddess. Anyway, there was this elderly gentleman that comes to dance with us quite regularly now. He's easily in his 80s, but he's a sweet person. And he was sitting beside Creepy Guy. I haven't even bothered to learn Creepy Guy's name. I knew he was a creep from the beginning. I'm not going to bother to learn your name. But to be fair, I don't bother to learn a lot of them names. I've been going there for 12 years and I still don't necessarily know a lot of their names. I had to learn some over time, make the effort. So I've turned into probably a little bit of a few narcissistic traits I've picked up from my mother. But anyway, it's like, if you don't sit and talk to them, why bother to know their names? It's like, they're not really in your life, they're just fellow dancers in the scene. But anyway, that's my philosophy. But anyway, he's sitting between the older gentleman and Seagal, and I just cracked it. I just thought, I said, sorry, I said to him, it will never happen, because he ran to sit between them, because he offloaded his shit on me, and then he went to sit with them for protection, right? Doesn't wash with me. So I called out to him. They was just sitting opposite from me. I said, make sure you tell Seagal how you ran up to tell me and my friends who you didn't know about how you're using her for drinks all night and that you need to get away from her. I said, you make sure you tell Seagal about all the drinks you take off her and drink, and you actually got zero interest in her at all. Anyway, he just looks at me like this, and Seagal drops her head. I suppose I upset her a bit, but I thought she needs to know that that's that man's attitude towards her and how he treats her, like the level of disrespect and debasement and humiliation, and it's grotesque. Better you know up front than have someone constantly stabbing you the second they walk away from you on the dance floor, right? Oh, he's putrid. He's fucking putrid. I haven't seen such a borderline male in years. There was another regular used to come years ago that used to actually dance with me, that was a splitting troublemaker and used to badmouth his girlfriend to me and everyone else. And then he broke up with the girlfriend, and then he hooked up with some other piece, and he he was a psycho. Anyway, he stopped coming after a while when he wasn't getting the narcissistic supply, right? Because I just completely froze him out, which is what you have to do with those people. You just have to treat them like they're just a zombie, and you can see them, you can hear them, but they're non-existent, because some of them are just putrid. So anyway, so there was that. So that was early on in the evening, and after I outed him as a user and a parasite and a scumbag, which is what he really is, he kept away from me, but he did come out onto the in front of the stage and film the band. I notice all these borderlines have the same modus operandi. When they fall foul of me, which is inevitable because I see through their bullshit, they all have this habit of running to the front of the band and filming and making out they're like the most important person in the place, filming and aggrandising and getting in good with the famous people. And I mean, Lana used to do that, Chris used to do that, and I just used to sit back and laugh because they have the same modus operandi. They're not even fucking original. Anyway, every time Doofus Brains last night came near me, I just cringed and turned away in disgust. And so I just don't want anything to do with someone who is just so vulgar and so crass and so disrespectful to a woman who you can see patently is interested in him and sweet on him and actually wanting something lovely. And why shouldn't she have something lovely? After all, we've been dancing there for many years. I think Seagull's been dancing there longer than I have even. I've been there 12 years. So she's probably been going there for 15 or 20 years, right? She deserves better than that. So anyway, later on she came up to me a bit awkwardly and I explained it to her. I said, he's just a user and a parasite and a nasty, nasty man. Anyway, she got upset because she's confronted with the truth, slapped with the wet fish as I tend to do. I'm a little bit undiplomatic, I suppose. I accept that. And off she went and disappeared for a while. Probably went to gamble because she likes to play the pokies, And I actually played the pokies last night too. Didn't win anything, but I only spent $10, because I don't like losing. I don't like losing money. It's not something that I can get into a habit of. She disappeared for a while. I thought, oh, maybe I've upset her. But like me, because of her trauma issues, she's very resilient. So she came back later and seemed happier and brighter and started dancing again, and that was fine. But honestly, if I could get rid of that man, I would. He's just repulsive. But I don't have to do a thing, really. I just sit back and wait. These people burn themselves out. They come and they try and aggrandise themselves with everyone. And I watched him. He went round the whole dance floor, all round the bar. And, to be fair, he's very friendly and outgoing. Too friendly and outgoing. He goes around to every little enclave or group of people and sits and gossips and points at me, and I could say, oh, you're right, another little borderline little prick like I had with that Lana in the day, trying to undermine me and being vicious. And you know what? It won't work. Even if they do get vicious with him, it doesn't affect me. I'm so used to their bullshit. I just come and I dance. I dance and dance and dance and dance and dance and dance until I drop and go home. And I go back the next week because I'm nothing if not resilient. I've outlived bigger bullies than him, bigger psychopaths than him. So this verminous little male, he won't get anywhere with me. So anyway, apart from that incident happening early on in the evening, probably within the first 20 minutes, half an hour that I was there, so that was all over by about 10:30. I kept dancing wildly and had a lovely time, and the band was very good. It was strange because Follow the Fox, when I saw them, the drummer was the same, but all the other musicians were different people from what I remembered. So it used to be this gorgeous blonde, I think they were brother and sister, and singer and bass guitarist. So it confused me a little bit. These are all different people, but maybe I've muddled up the bands in my mind. It worries me that I'm getting dementia. Am I getting dementia? But the drummer nodded to me, so he definitely recognised me. So I think they've just changed all them, their musos have changed. So anyway, but the singer was very good and she was a performer. Every song she put heart and soul and actually did the body language to it. I almost didn't need to do my ham acting and joining in with the songs like I customarily do because she was doing it all herself. She was a very good little performer. I didn't catch her name, and not out of apathy, but just didn't catch her name. But nice voice, and they played hard rock songs. They played all my favourites, and it was very, very good. And there was a man there in the dance, very tall, intimidating man. Tall only because he was intimidating only because he was very, very tall, and a little bit chubby. So he was quite a big boy. He was screaming with joy and going right off, And but he wasn't being threatening to anyone. The only reason he was intimidating was just because he was ebullient and a big boy. But anyway, I noticed there weren't many people there last night. It was very quiet because tonight will be the big night where everyone's hemmed in like little sardines, and I can't do it. The security, when the security guards asked me if I was coming tomorrow, and I said no, I don't. I can't tolerate the crowds. When I'm hemmed in, I feel sick, and I feel threatened, and I feel uncomfortable. And I mean, I used to do it in the old days, but I haven't gone to New Year's Eve for about 5 or 6 years now. I just can't stand being sandwiched in, and I don't feel safe. Men grab you all over. There were a few New Year's Eves where I actually had to dance with younger couples and say to the young man, someone's trying to grab me, and he actually wedged himself between me and the creep. So by and large, people were really lovely and supportive, but it's just icky. I can't deal with the level of ickiness. And anyway, I thought about going maybe tonight, just even though I can't really deal with the level of ickiness being squeezed into a crowded space. But I made my mind up because I saw them setting up all the DJ tables, so it's going to be mostly, DJs tonight. And I thought, oh no, Mind you, the DJ last night was actually quite good. He played quite a varied bit of music, so he wasn't too bad. Young man, but he played very well, played good music. But I got very tired by about 1 o'clock because I'd done my moshing to Zombie, and I danced to What's Up and all the other rock songs. I only mosh my neck to Zombie though, because that's my favourite, my speciality. And so I stayed for a while, but then I was like, no, I'm done now. Quite exhausted. And I had a lovely night apart from that weirdo in the beginning of the night. So it's all good, right? It's all good. And so anyway, so I've been sitting here in the garden thinking about things, and it's a new year coming, 2023, and all the doom and gloomers are out, things are going to get worse. Well, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I have a good feeling about next year, tomorrow and onwards. I just somehow think things will start to lift a bit. I'm hoping. I guess it all starts from your own attitude to things too. And it's just, I think next year will be, tomorrow onwards will be the year where I start to really, really blossom out, because I've been held back for almost 58 years. I think it's time. It's time I, made something of myself. So I'm been thinking about my silversmithing journey, and I need to buy a very expensive torch to use for melting silver and gold when I can afford it, and using for soldering and things like that. So I'm manifesting that torch. I actually played the pokies because, like a silly little schoolgirl, I thought, well, if I win a big prize, I'll be able to buy the torch, right? So it's that's where you know where I live in fairyland in Titania's realm. It's not quite real, because one does not get rich playing the pokies, trust me on that one. But anyway, I had a little flutter, and just to have just a little bit of, basically it was like I'd left the dance floor and I was quite tired, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just sit down, have a rest before I get in the car and drive home. And so that was my motivation there as well. And yeah, I walked down to Hungry Jack's and got a burger and chips and a thick shake. So all my wild dancing for 3 hours got blown out by carbicide. Not good. My GP used to tell me off about that. She is right about that. I mean, she's a bastard and nearly killed me with the refusing me antibiotics thing, but she is right about my bad diet after dancing like a maniac. I've just blown out all the good work I've done, the exercise, by eating fried food. So I must stop that behaviour. It's a bit naughty. But you know what? I hadn't had a lot to eat yesterday. I did have dinner before I went out, but I hadn't really eaten a lot yesterday, and I was hungry. It's like, if I'm hungry, I'm hungry, right? Like, fuck it. I shouldn't have to justify to myself that I'm hungry. And as for my GP, it's not like she was ever on my side. I know. That bloody gallbladder surgery to start with, that got put off for 3 years and then nearly killed me. That was an exercise in evil too. So anyway, let me think about what else I want to talk about. So the neighbourhood's very quiet. Most of my neighbours have gone on holiday. There's a few of us around, but everyone's sitting very quietly, and so it's a bit eerie, but that's okay. And yeah, I just want to touch base and let you know, it's not quite a new year yet, but in a few hours it will be. So I want to wish you all a happy new year. Stay safe, stay happy, stay true to your ethics, never let the bastards grind you down, and cautiously observe the borderlines and the psychopaths and the I'm talking about destructive borderlines people, not nice borderlines. I have friends who are very nice borderline people, but avoid the toxic borderlines and the very toxic psychosociopath narcopaths. It's like, as soon as you smell them coming, abort, because they just get more vicious and more putrid, and it just spirals out of control. So partly why I'm making this video is to let YouTube world know that I'm well aware of that man's activities and modus operandi, and I will not be engaging with him in future, not even to be polite. So that's a decision I made last night when I saw how he was trawling around the live wire bar, starting up shit, potentially. Anyway, on that note, Happy New Year. Tanya is, as usual, enjoying her sacred space, and I'll see you, no doubt, on the dance floor next weekend, doing my usual thing, same time, same channel. Oh, hello, Charlie. Hello. You came to see us? You came to see us? Say hello, YouTube world. Say hello. Say hello. I am Charlie. I am Charlie, and I like cuddles. And I'm here with my mama too, who looks after me, and I look after her, and I make sure she's happy, and that she's surrounded by beauty, and that only good things shall come to us, because we reject the negativity, don't we, Charlie? We rejected a lot of the negativity over the years. Yes, we're not having it. We're not having it. There's beautiful people in the world. We're not wasting our time on vicious, toxic idiots. No, we're not. Oh, no, we're not. Especially those who are exploitive and brag about using people. I mean, if you're going to use people, just do it discreetly, like the last lover I had. Like, just be an exploitive fucking psychopath, but don't brag about it. Oh, that was crass. It's just really disgraceful. Really is. It was awful. Awful, man. Anyway, I'm going to get over that and enjoy my birdie. We all deserve our time to go out and have fun on the dance floor and dance and be joyous and form relationships with people. Like, there was no harm in that. But come up to me and tell me about how stupid someone is for buying them drinks. No. Just no. Okay. On that note, goodbye from sacred space. Love is the law, people.